I haven't done a video in a while, so I figured I'd teach you guys about the ancient god representation, which was in stone and wood. The things you walk right past every day, going about your merry business. I'm going to explain it to you. I'm going to explain some ancient things to you as well, through symbolism and all kinds of things. Let's get into it. To my subscribers, I expect you to know where to start and where to finish. We're looking at the 5 planets you can see with your naked eye: Saturn, Jupiter, Mars, Venus, Mercury. It doesn't matter which church you belong to, you have all types of stuff like this all over the buildings and around the building. Number 5 represents a planet right there in your face, and this is a Jehovah's Witness building. Since I don't have the brick in the shot, I have another example so you can understand that it rotates around in 3s and 4s all over the red brick below, like this one. We'll start at the bottom to the top, of course. At the base, you'll see the double-bordered sun. I showed you this all over the world. Anything double-bordered, circle or square, represents Saturn. Ignore that 9. That should be a 12 when you go all the way around times 4. 3 times 4 is 12. The next level up, you see the 4 bricks across. In the next row, you see them by 3, all the way till you get to the top. This equals 7 for the 7 planets. The 5 you can see with your naked eye. When you add the sun and moon, you make 7. You see the cube of Saturn further up in the middle. At the very top, the 3 king reference. Knowledge of the gods, to have wisdom of these planets. Back to your home, what the Freemasons did to it, at least. You have 2, 4, 6, all the way around the cube of Saturn in the very center, with the as above, so below around the very middle. This brick does 3 and 4 around as well. Look at the post that shows you the 3 at the very top, and then the 3 at the very bottom. With the middle, that makes 7 for the 7 planets. Now, I only got the inspiration to do this from the Great Wall of China when I decoded it. Then everywhere else after that, from the bottom of the brick to the top of the brick, counts 9 for the 9 planets. That's Saturn, Jupiter, Mars, the Sun, Venus, Mercury, the crescent moon, Uranus, Neptune. The reason the 7 candle menorah had to turn into the 9, once they were acknowledged. Moving on, I want you to focus on the center where you see Saturn, the black circle, and then on the sides you see the rings sticking out. With 4 sides, that would be 12 for 12 constellations, 4 times 3. From the roof to the front step, you get 5 for the 5 planets you can see with your naked eye. And you can see where Saturn rests. Let's look at another example from somewhere else. I told you guys I go to other channels. This guy does megaliths. My subscribers know since the Stone Age, the X or the cross represents the 5 planets you can see with your naked eye, and the center represents Saturn. I went in the comments to see if anyone said anything about it, and of course nothing, but I did get one intelligent comment. One guy says, "Look like he's looking up." Others made jokes to handle things they don't understand. But anyway, I rewarded that guy in his comment for having the most intelligent comment. I let him know that that represented the 5 planets you can see with your naked eye, and he's looking up because he's meditating to the planets above. Of course, I get no credit. Moving on. I've already decoded Germany. Well, not all of it. I have to get back there. But you see the 7 planet representation with 7 different paths below. But more importantly, when you look in close, you see the same thing. For meditation purposes, look at the tuning fork on the ends, which I show you in every ancient carving. The god's holding a tuning fork to show you have to match your body's frequency with the planet's frequencies above. That's what a tuning fork represents. Now let's talk about some of the gods that's made of stone. This is the part where you think I'm talking about gods in the image of man, but no, I'm talking about gods that look like this. This is called a stele. I do believe the top right belongs to Yahweh and the left belongs to Asherah. The Anunnaki push marriage in ancient civilization, so the Abrahamic branch would be no exception. This woman being a deity made no sense, so they had to strip her from the Old Testament. We all know the Bible was rewritten over 300 times. Anyway, people used to bring her offerings just like Yahweh. Now, if you count that rock at the very base, the step rock, and you go all the way up to Yahweh's tablet, you'll get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 for 7 planets. Feel free to count each level, pause it if you need to, just like the mound pyramids dedicated to the planets. Stels are found mostly in the Mediterranean area. This is what the ancients used to worship their gods on. It was something that they could focus on. I hope this paints a better picture. We won't talk about idol worship because we know what the menorah represents. This channel's already mastered fire and the elements and the planets above, and why the candle was in Solomon's temple and made it to Judaism with a no magic policy, with a stupid story about Maccabees to change the 7 into 9. Funny thing is, 9 planets was recognized since the Stone Age, according to the markings, that later civilizations evolved from. Not all stels were made for gods above, some humans, but the rest, like I explained before, found all around the Mediterranean area, paints a picture that humans meditated to stones and wood at one point, but we're not covering wood in this episode per se. In this picture, you see a as above, so below with 5 on each side, representing the 5 planets you can see with your naked eye. Now let's take a break from that and look at some architecture. Notice on the roof you have 7 mounds representing the 7 planets. This is in Rome, the Pantheon. The old pagan temple turned into modern day church. We all know why we knock on wood. Energy transfer. They get to keep all the praise that was in that building since day one. So when the new congregation comes in, they feel the Holy Ghost. Every bench and post has stored energy inside of it. My subscribers know the story of Aaron touching the goat's head, placing all the sins of the children of Israel inside of it and sending it away. The scapegoat story. Energy transfer, voodoo, needing someone's comb, personal item, whatever, knowing that energy is stored inside of each one of those objects. Jewish law, you're not supposed to wear women's clothes because it has feminine energy inside of it. You're only supposed to push your masculine energy. Back to the buildings with the planet representation. You see the ones marked with the red X. Each level of those buildings represent the planets. It doesn't even matter if it's Stonehenge. I've already decoded this in a 3-minute short. Go check it out. But you see 5, 7, and 9. That's the 5 planets you can see with your naked eye. The sun and moon make 7. Uranus and Neptune make 9. There's no spot on this planet I did not cover. My subscribers know I love flexing. Anyway, if you notice from the bottom to the top, you get 7 for the 7 planets. Take your time and count. All anyone does is look at the megalithic structure and say, oh, wow, this is amazing. But no one counts anything except for me, the guy with OCD. This represents them walking through, transcending through the 7 planets. On this entire planet, every temple is dedicated to the planets above. You just don't know how to read it. Back to the porch so you can see the same theme, just 9 this time. I saved you time being a Freemason. Moving on. This is the creepy part of the show where I explain the whole entire reason I kept showing you borders and doors inside of your home. With the 5 planet representation on the edges of it, I taught you about portals and how they used to travel through, knowing the correct frequency to walk through these doors. They can travel and end up on any part of the world they chose. This is why it's good and why I teach you to try to channel good energies into your home and not try to channel the negative and dark entities inside of your home. Most know initiations into Freemasons or any kind of societies, you have to pass on the curse to 7 others. So if this is in your home, there's no guarantee if it's something for anything positive. This is on your window frame, your front door, your baseboards. This may be a secret, ancient way to let forces into your home. To switch the mood from freaking you out, when I Googled Stel, some food popped up. And the funny thing about this one is this Trey stele, which to me means three gods. On a stele, Anu, Enki, and Enlil. More planet representation on stone from the bottom base to the top where you see the animals. This represents the 5 planets you can see with your naked eye. And you can see on the animal level that Saturn brings all life to all things. This is one of my favorite places because it's one of the best examples. This is in Laos. Like I said, I did the whole planet. England's no exception. Every spot of the world, everything's dedicated to gods of planets, in wood or stone. Even artifacts. I decoded this in a video. I separated in sections so everyone can see the planet representation and everyone can pause and count them easier. Then out of nowhere, I see a post for the same plate I already decoded way later. Now, of course, I giggled to myself. The only thing I didn't do is go into detail about the history of the plate. I just decode everything. So if you want to know more about that, if you saw that video, you can just look this guy up. Another that travels all over the world, recording great pictures of great ancient places. Now, this is the last thing before I go. I also left a message in someone's post as I was just browsing through the web. She posts images of a star changing shape and color, reflecting the 12 tribes of Israel, breastplate, gems. And if you don't know what that is, just Google it. It's what kept them safe guarding the Ark of the Covenant, which is known to have harmful radiation according to history. We'll get into the amplifier later, but the important thing is I always associated the stones with the rubies of the earth and stones of the earth that had different elements and different aspects and different spiritual magical properties. Her using this example is a home run for my channel that explains everything in religion as something based off of science or the solar system. I think I'm going to agree with her and say that's exactly what they look like. We definitely know after realizing that a menorah is nothing more than a solar system ring cut in half, fires the access to the planets above. That base doesn't represent the 12 tribes of Israel, it represents the 12 constellations. Just like those branches represent the days of the week. The planets are named after the days of the week. Anyway, that's me waking one sheep at a time. Thanks for watching, and I'll keep you posted with some more. Be good to each other, and remember that goodwill is the key to all religions, or they won't work. Saturn deals with karma, the importance of tying all religions to the planets.